So, I mean, it's the start of training camp, which means the season's around the corner, and I think that kind of never gets old, right?
100%. And then, yeah, coming in first day, it's a lot of excitement's in the air. And for these guys, especially, a long day. Physicals last night, some testing this morning, quick practice, and back at it here this evening. So, but it's good. Yeah, it's good to see what we got here.
It is a really long day, this media day for everybody. Is there somewhat of a benefit to that, though, just for right off the start, building some camaraderie, getting the guys back in the room together?
100%. And again, it gets some guys that are coming in here fresh and new, familiar with their teammates and such. And yeah, it's a long day, but it is what it is. It's part of the process here, right? Like we need this, and it's just a great part.
Talked with Dan earlier this morning about what you two do together to instill a culture. And you look around, and yeah, it's a long day. There's nothing but smiling faces, nothing but laughter. Guys are really happy to be here. So, how important is it to just instill what you believe are the core values of the Rochester Knighthawks?
It's very important, especially on day one, especially for the new guys coming in, right? And we lean on the guys that have been here before, but that's the thing, right? Like we want to come in here, we want to work hard, but at the same time, let's enjoy it because I think we're very fortunate to play the game we all love, and to be a part of the Knighthawks organization. It's a special place to be. So it's a great feeling, and we just want to continue that forward. And again, at the end of the day, we want wins and work hard, but that stuff will come.
You're just a little over a month before the start of the regular season. In this first weekend, what are some of the core objectives that you want to kind of check off right at the start of camp?
A couple of big things is first and foremost is our compete level. Like I say, we want to step on the floor competing today because again, nobody's safe here. And again, that's one thing that I find we're lucky to do here is that we're fortunate to have our own locker room here. But those guys don't get to step in here until November 26th, right? So they've got to earn their opportunity to step into that room. So that's first and foremost is just to come in and compete. And at the same time, they've signed here, they've been drafted here, and they were given their task, to come in with their best foot forward. So today and tomorrow, we get to see, how far they've come along since we asked them to make sure they're ready.
Your career, both as a player and a coach in this league, it's well documented, and you've been to the summit, but it has been a little bit. And last year was a little different, finally getting back into the playoffs after a couple of years without. Does that change the expectation going into this season? Does it help to know that this team made it back to the playoffs?
Yeah, because again, everything's about growth and the next step. And since we've been here, we've been taking those steps. And I think last year we had a real good start, and we had some struggles, but we were able to, overcome and make the playoffs. Right, it was a great feat especially for such a young core. And again, we're still young here, and guys are still learning. But it's that next step that we're looking forward to now. Right, like we've taken a small step, we got in the playoffs. Now we want to take a little bit bigger step, and the expectation is that the guys coming in here are going to be able to help us do that.
One of the younger guys is Connor Fields, but he's a heck of a player, and we all saw that last year, second in the entire league in goals. What I asked him earlier, what more can he do? And I know he isn't fully satisfied, even from the great season he had. What do you look for in a guy like that, who I think, to your point, yeah, he's on the younger side, but he can still be a big leader?
100%, and I think there's still more growth in Connor's game. We want to make sure Connor's not all one-dimensional, right? It's get the ball and he's going to do what he does, and the group can come in here is going to help with that because it's going to be. And one thing we do try to stress is offense by committee, and that starts from our back end moving forward. So if the ball's flowing a little bit, free flowing and swinging back and forth, it's going to give him greater opportunities, and vice versa, give everybody else a greater opportunity. So he had a real good year. But again, I think with the group we got around him here coming this year, I'm not going to say it's going to be better because he had such a good one, but I think it's going to be hopefully a bit easier for him to again, reach his full potential.
As a guy who has spent so much time in the Rochester Knighthawks umbrella, both current and past franchise, a guy like Dan Lomas comes back into the fold, a former Nighthawk of yesteryear. Is it cool to see somebody like that back?
100%. And and we've talked about Dan for a couple of years now. follow his journey. He came in here as a young guy, played a lot, had to take a step backwards when Cody Jamieson came off of injury a year, and he did that, got injured, came back from his injury. So his journey's been up and down, but he's a bit of a veteran that's going to come in here and work, and he's going to push everybody around us to get better because, again, I don't think he was very happy the role he was given in New York, but he's got to prove what he's going to earn here in Rochester.
Last thing I'll ask you, going into this season, it's very unique. There's now unified standings. There is not an East and a West. You're going to play every team in the NLL over the course of this season. What are pros and cons, if there are any, with a schedule like this, a bit more dynamic than years past?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a lot more. I think a good thing on it is going to be a lot more focus on us because playing the 14 other teams, we want to make sure we're at our best, and they're going to have to adapt to us versus playing Buffalo 3 times and Philadelphia 3 times, and the way we kind of work things is we kind of scheme around what they do as well. It'll give us that opportunity to really focus on us and make sure that we are our best, and kind of move forward with that. And again, standings wise, it gives you the chance to match yourselves up against everybody versus kind of looking across on the western side of things and say, oh, we could have got a game here, a game there. Now it's put up or shut out.